Hello, my name is Adam Murray and welcome to Extra Time, a St. Declan's TUI GA Future Leaders podcast. Please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for all of our future content. Happy New Year to everyone, and we are delighted to be back. Widely regarded as the best referee in Waterford and one of the top up-and-coming referees in the country, today we speak to Thomas Walsh about his experience as the man in the middle. Welcome to Extra Time, Thomas.
Well, thank you. Thanks, Les. Thanks very much for having me. I suppose, look, if you, I always start with my interview with G kind of way. I change around a bit. Like, if you have something to ask me first, I'll answer it, and then if not, I can start away what way I start off with referee and stuff like. So I don't mind if you question there first, work away.
So when did you get into refereeing, or how did you get into it? I suppose that.
Yeah, so look, that's the question that they always start off with. But every referee, I suppose, is different. I suppose my journey started off refereeing was a bit unusual one. I'd be friends there with a lad there from a Medellin called Patrick Welsh, and one day I went down to his house and he was going to play in a match. Actually, funny enough, he was playing for Neighbour at the time against Clossendy. So I went down to watch the match. There was a referee there. He's still going. Dorlan Muraku was down to referee the game and never showed up. It was an under-14 football game between Neighbour and Clossendy, and the only person there in the crowd was myself. So they asked me would I step in, and I said, look, I'll give it a go. But I said, look, I know what happened. So the game went on, and first half was fine. Second half went out of control. The two teams lettered each other left, right, and centre. 10 minutes in the second half, the game was abandoned. And I just let you know, playing the same day was Paul White, and a lad broke his nose. So
what age were you at this stage?
I was 14. I was under 14. So that's how I basically started off. So I thought myself it might put me off, but I suppose kind of my father was doing it for a good number of years. He refereed up until 2002, then he retired, and I suppose I always went with him to games, and I suppose I was kind of back in mind a small bit into it, but I was constantly playing the whole time. But then I suppose, I said, I'll give it a go. Then the following year, if I was 15, 2005, then I gave it a go, and I refereed about 4 or 5 games, and then it just went on and on and on, and I just got more and more into it, and looking. I refereed then away, like club games away, like underage, and just experience came then. And I was 19, I refereed my first senior hurling game. So it just continued on from there then, and they're always kind of saying the younger the better to start off with refereeing because you have more opportunities, and I can see now why. So it's great that way,
And to be a referee, what are the fitness requirements that you need to have?
Well, I suppose the referees back then were supposed 65 weren't much movement, but nowadays what we have to do, we have to do 4 fitness tests during the year. So we do one start of the league, one during the league, one start of championship, and one mid championship. So we do 4 tests. So what happened is, because obviously this pandemic happened now, we'd be given a training program. So we do 11 weeks of training program. This fella's called Aidan Brady. He's from UCD. He's doing a master's. So basically, he's the fella that gives us this program. So we followed it then step by step, and then we just go in and do the fitness test. So basically, what it is, it's called a banjo test. So you basically start in the end line, go to the 20-meter line, and you go in and out run. So it's 42 runs for the league, and it's 56 runs for the championship. So we have to basically, the beat just gets faster and faster and faster. So basically, if you don't make it, you don't get no games. And I suppose, as you can see it there, maybe from last year, I know, look, the referees probably didn't know much of, but there's 4 or 5 referees that actually didn't referee at all this year. So Sean Clear was one of them. He refereed the Ireland semi-final last year, refereed no game this year. And another fellow was Alan Kelly, who refereed the controversy between Limerick and Kilkenny, where the sideline ball. He actually refereed a game at all this year either. So you have to pass the test. If you don't pass it, you don't get games. So there is a lot of training involved in it. So, as you know, as yourselves, the inter-county players are getting faster and quicker and stronger. So referees must get to the same pace at the moment. So we that's the training regime in that.
And what do you think would be one of the most difficult rules to implement on the field?
Well, I suppose that Well, I suppose the black card is going to come into the hurling. Like, I think it will. Probably, I think from 2022 on, it will come in. Like, but I suppose some referees don't want to, some do. But look, you could see, like, during the start of this year championship, like, there was deliberate fouls a lot, like, But it's my view of it is to define deliberate. I understand a fella going through and goal and you pull him down, like, and look at this kind of way, but it's kind of hard, I suppose, to justify it. Like, but look, we'll have to knock it down, I think, from next year on, and we'll have to focus on that, like, But I suppose the current rules at the moment, I suppose the hardest one is the 3 catches. Trying to like spot the 3 catches, like, a fella, because they're, like, again, they're so skillful, like, and a fella could catch the ball like twice and then go into hurling and flick it over a fella's head and catch it. Like, you're there, like, oh no, look, is that 3 catches? But it actually is. But sure, sometimes referees mightn't pick up on it, like, but and then I suppose steps, but I suppose my recollection of the rule, like, play away. I don't mind the steps, but I know it's 4 steps, like, but look, the referees do give the advantage to the player, maybe give him 6 or 7, like they do, like, and I probably should be saying it, like, but look, a lot of referees do it, like, they always give the advantage to the skillful player, like, that takes the extra step, like, to get rid of the ball, and it does, like, but look, I could talk all day about the rules, like, so many rules in the hurling, but, like, compared, like, to the football, like, they have so many rules and so many cards and stuff, like, the hurling probably will be going the same way, but look, hurling so much faster and quicker, like, that's why I think myself is so much easier to referee.
Do you have any funny stories or incidents you could tell us about?
Well, there was one incident, I suppose, here in I actually watched. I can tell you actually 2 incidents. One big incident happened in an Ireland final back there last January, 2020. Actually started 2020. I refereed the Ireland club final between Father O'Neill's and Tullerone intermediate, and so basically it was probably the biggest game I've refereed so far. And I was running over and back the field doing a warm up, and like we were told to, when the matches, like, say Aberystwyth was on at 2:00, we be on the field around maybe 15 minutes beforehand. So I was there in the middle of the field and then warming up and working away, and so I told the 2 linesmen to get the captains, and so I got the 2 captains, tossed the coin, and went to blow the whistle. I had no whistle. So for another Ireland final, no whistle. So here was me running from the middle of the field in Crow Park into the dressing room to get my whistle. So and what made it funnier altogether was you're open mic'd in Crow Park, so everyone can hear you. So linesman, the fella in Hawker can hear you, so everyone can hear me. So here's me with no whistle going out to the referee in Ireland final. And another one was a club game here. I was refereeing under 14 county final in the field here between Abbeyside and Ballygunner. And I always wear these base layers underneath my shorts, but sure, I was late for the match. The match, I think, was on at 12:30. I arrived 12:20. I had my jersey on, had my socks on, had the base layer on, and I had a whistle around my neck, and I threw in the ball, and as I watched it, about 7 minutes into the game, I don't know how no one noticed this, but 7 minutes into the game, I went to book a fella, and I had no shorts on. So yeah, so it didn't really happen at all. So I just had to stop the game for 2 minutes, run to get my shorts and book him. Man, I don't know how it happened, like, but I usually have my my score book in my pocket too, but I just forgot the whole thing. So yeah, so I suppose they were probably 2 funniest thing in my refereeing career at the moment.
And what would you kind of follow a routine on the day of a big game leading up to it?
Well, I suppose, like, a lot of players, like, would always have like a routine and stuff as well, like, but my routine, I'd always pack the bag the following night. And I suppose I should come back to the question there of another funny story. Actually, I packed my bag the following night for a Dr. Hartley Cup game, and I'd always make sure I have 2 pairs of socks, 2 pairs of shorts, 2 jerseys. Like, if we always have black, we have a black jersey, we'd have a green jersey, and we have a yellow jersey. So if we were in black, like, the referee would always text the night before, or as I texted the lads the night before, look, I'm wearing black, and I'd always make sure to have two jerseys with me, like. But again, this particular match, Dr. Hartley Cup game between St. Coleman's and CBC, which was a great game. It was above Watergrass Hill. I arrived to the match, and I have I have 3 smallies at home, but my eldest, a 4-year-old, decided to root through my bag that morning, take out the socks, take out the shorts. So I returned to the match in just a jersey only, no shorts. Had to borrow a pair of shorts out of St. Coleman's player, had to borrow socks off a CBC player, and I had to borrow the whistle off the Coleman's manager. So I didn't go down well, but I know from now on I need to make sure, and I always make sure to have my notebook, 2 notebooks. I'll have 2 whistles. I'll have about 10 pencils. I'll have scorecards, a load of them. I'd always make sure then to have my, 2 shorts, 2 socks, 2 pairs of boots. And so I just always make sure before the routine, and as well, make sure I leave the house, then I always have them in my bag. And then I suppose then before a game, then I always have my 4 umpires with me, make sure they're in tune. I'm lucky enough, I have 7 or 8 lads that help me, which is great. And they understand, if they can't come to a big game. I have 4 lads that do big games, but look, at one lad can't make it, the other lads step in. So there's no hassle that way. I suppose then, when we're doing big matches, I always kind of make sure to ring him in advance and make sure everything's okay and watch out for this, especially what teams are playing, but routine wise, I suppose as everyone else, the players as well, you'd always make sure everything's in their bag the night before, or even the morning before you leave. So that's typical with me,
Well, you said the biggest game you've refereed was that All-Ireland final. Was there more pressure to referee that game than any other game you have before?
I suppose, look at obviously, the biggest game in the club level is a senior hurling county final. I'm lucky to referee 3 of them. First one, again, you'd be nervous enough. Second one, then, again, you're taking your stride. Third one, third one was very weird. Obviously, I suppose you might have saw it at the Ballygunner Passage game with no crowd. I prefer crowd. I prefer no mess or nothing. I prefer someone shouting around at me in the sideline. I actually don't mind it whatsoever. I just know that they're there and someone's watching it. But when there's no one there watching it, it's so difficult, I think. But every game is different, like you said. I suppose when I go into that All-Ireland final that time, I suppose, the first 10 minutes you're nervous, but then you just turn around and say, listen, it's just a normal game. Same game you're refereeing here in the far field or in your home club, in Delago. I just referee away after that. But I don't know, you probably didn't see it, but again, it was a great game, and the 2 teams hurled away, and when you're in them kind of situations, you kind of think yourself, the 2 teams are going to hurl away because you don't want to do anything stupid. You don't want to give a red card away or a yellow card away early. The 2 of them just hurled, and what was great about that game was that great Tommy Walsh was playing full forward, and it was great to referee them kind of players, because you watch them on television and then you go to referee them and it's great, but yeah, I don't really think you would be nervous. You'll have butterflies in your stomach, but when you throw in the ball, when you give away the first free, and then you just back to your normal self, then you just referee away,
Yeah, and would you have any advice for young referees starting up?
I think the advice I'd give us is the younger the better. If some chap wants to get involved, I have no issues at all with anyone come up to me and ask me advice if they want to start refereeing. As you know, I suppose water refereeing, they're badly stuck for referees. Look, there's fellas on there now at the moment, and they're in their 70s still refereeing, and they can't leave because there's no one coming up. At the moment, there's myself at 30. Obviously, you all know Gavin Whelan, he's there. You have Ty Tobin there. After that, look, I'm 30, Gavin is probably 27, 28, Ty is 26. After that, there's not very many, but if there's anyone at all even listen to this at all, if you see me on a field or at all, I have no issues at all. Come up to me and ask me questions, because we can get anyone at all, the more the merrier, and there's no hassle at all. At the moment, we have a few lads coming in at the moment now doing the line and stuff for us, and they're watching us refereeing away, and get involved, but I can't they're over their 35s or 40s, but look, if they're there, it's great, but if we can get someone that's in in between 20 and 30 and get 5 or 6 lads in around that age to come, it'd be great, but it's just to attract them is the thing,
And you're quite young compared to most referees. How do the GAA encourage more people to take up refereeing?
Well, literally just there to see there this morning there now, there was actually 2 refresher courses after popping out there now on our emails and stuff, so the GAA are really pushing, but I'll tell you the truth now, the real province that are pushing referees is Ulster. Ulster are really pushing it. There's a lad up there called Jim O'Rourke, and I'd love to have him down here in Munster, because he's really getting young referees involved, and he's doing a lot of these courses himself, and he's getting the fellas in. And my view of it, I think, should be, is each club in Waterford should have 1 referee. in their club.
There used
If
to
that's
be a
free-
rule for that that everyone had to have.
It used to be a long time ago, but it's gone there now, like, you know. But like, if every club had a one referee, and it would be fantastic. Then you had 50 odd referees in the whole of Waterford. There's only 30 referees, the whole of Waterford. And you think about it, you have games from under 11 and 12. They must get a qualified referee. You have 13, you have 14, you have 15, you have 16, you have minor, you have junior C, junior B, junior A, you have intermediate, and you have senior. So you have in around probably 200 odd games there in total, like, you know, and you're spreading out between 30 referees. It's very hard. Like, I remember there last year when it came back, the playing the time back in saying maybe June. I remember I refereed a game Friday night, 3 Saturday and 4 Sunday. That's 8 games in a weekend, like, you know. And then after that, then you're probably doing camogie then as well. You're doing ladies football. You're doing football. So, like, and all the referees are kind of doing all the same, like, you know. So that's why it's very hard to get referees in that perspective, like, you know. And I suppose, like, look, in Watford you have ladies football referees, you have camogie referees. But what's very kind of maddening at the moment with a lot of Watford referees is the camogie. I know like Waterford camogie is going well, like, but to get referees from Kenny and Wexford in to referee the games, and it looks very bad on us, like, you know. So we need to start pushing that, like, you know. And look, we're all blue in the face with saying, like, we need referees badly, like, you know. But look, some people just take it up, like, look, you make great friends. And look, I still play with myself, like, a bit, like, you know, and like I enjoy it, like, you know, I enjoy playing and I enjoy the refereeing. Grand, look, some referees that come in, they take it up, and look, they get abuse here and there, and then they stop. But like, you just have to relax, like, you know, eventually, like, you'll flow through the games, like, there's no bother at all with it, like, you know. But like, it's just getting the referees is the thing, like. But hopefully down the line, the next few years, we start picking them up somewhere, like.
And what do you think might be the kind of rewarding part of being a ref, or what might be the tough part as well?
I tell you the truth now, the reward of it is 3 years ago, I was very lucky. I got a trip to Dubai out of refereeing. So there is trips like that. I've been to London refereeing. I've been to New York refereeing. I've been to Boston refereeing. So like, there's opportunities there, like, to do that, like, you know. And I was very lucky now to go with Brian Gavin, who refereed 4 Ireland finals. And for me to talk to him, like, and for him to give me advice, he gave me one advice that I'll never forget it. I used to always wear my whistle on my wrist, and he taught me to wear it around my neck. And ever since the day he taught me, I wore it around my neck, and I just feel 10 times better by doing it. And just because that one thing he taught me, like, I still that day tell him that day that he taught me that time when I went to Dubai with him, like, you know. But like, there is, like, when you get up the peak, like, you know, level, like, there is trips. So obviously, you know, when the All Ireland All-Stars are out, the referee who referees the Ireland final gets to go on the trip with the All-Stars, referee the game. So like, there's great opportunity rewards in that, like, you know. Like, even when I went from club level to inter-county level, like, even myself, like, I think even trips, like, going to different stadiums, like when you go to Nolan Park and referee, like when you go to, like, Thurles refereeing, when you go up to, look, I've been to Mayo refereeing, I've been to Donegal, I've been to Antrim refereeing. I'd never go to them places ever, like, you know, even to watch the match I'd never do, like. But because of refereeing, I go up there, you just see what their culture's like and what the stadiums are like and all that, like, you know. And when you go up to places like Watchcott and Mayo and you think they're not mad about hurling, they are mad about hurling up there. I went to Antrim there one day up to Dunloy, and they're mad about hurling up there, like, madder than Waterford down here, like, you know. And it's just, when you see that, like, it just shows, like, that other counties are pushing hurling so much. My first league game when I started off doing the National League was Armagh, Wicklow. So whoever heard them in hurling, like, but by God, they can hurl. They can hurl no matter at all. Like, look, they'll give an old game down here to maybe a junior A team, whatever, down here, like, but still, they can hurl, like, you know. And you have teams there. I refereed Louth and Sligo. I've refereed Warwickshire and Tyrone. I refereed Donegal and Mayo, like, you know. The teams you wouldn't think of, like, but yet again, it's something different. I understand maybe club level here, like, you know, a lot of players probably know me, and every time I go out, they call me Tyler, or they call me, oh, come on, Thomas, isn't that? But when you go to other counties, they haven't a clue who you are, and I actually enjoy that more, refereeing the games. But look, on a refereeing club as well, no matter what game it is, I put myself to 100%, give it my all to referee that game, make sure everything goes right, like, you know.
And what are your ambitions for the future?
Well, my ambition obviously is to referee in All-Ireland hurling. The championship panel were only 9 players, or 9 referees, were included in that panel this year, and I was one of them out of 48 referees. So I'm up there at the top. I want to stay at the top. I refereed my first senior game this year, Liam McCarthy game between Laois and Clare. Next year I want to go on now, hopefully now in the league and start there in 2 or 3 months' time. I want to referee hopefully 1 or 2 Division 2 games or Division 1 games. That's the plan. The last referee to referee an All-Ireland final here in Waterford was 2010, where Kilkenny were going for 5 in a row. Michael Wadden down there Rowan Moore. So again, he's been a great help to me in my refereeing career as well. So the ambition is to referee an All-Ireland hurling final, and hopefully in the next 4 to 5 years, that's the ambition to do it. And look, by then I'd be 34, 35, and that's the plan. So if I can get, I don't want to be greedy. If I can do even three, I want to do 3 Ireland hurling finals. That's what I want to do, and then I'll retire happy.
And Tom, before you go there, just one question I'd like to ask you, because we've done a good number of podcasts over the last, say, 4 or 5 months, and one thing that keeps coming up is Richie Hogan's red card 2 summers ago in the All-Ireland final. We've had a debate about this a few times. You're on the field. By the letter of the law, it probably is a red. Would you give a red?
Yeah, actually, funny enough, you asked me. I was there. I was doing for the Furture for the minor, and we were sitting up right where it happened. And I'll tell you one thing. What happened was that clip was shown to the Pro 12 rugby referees, and no way in hell they would have given a red card, because they physically said you had to go to TMO, and they would have taken about 3 or 4 minutes. Now, because James Owens was live, Sky Sports actually had it as well, him live too. So what happened was Johnny Murphy, who was doing the line that day from Limerick, he turned around to James Owens and said, "I don't think he got him." Okay, so James Owens went over to him, took his time, went over to him. He saw blood down his nose. Okay, so James Owens said, "Listen, I'm after seeing blood. I think he got him with the elbow." So the minute anything at all head up is a red card. So that's why James Owens gave the red card. But the linesman said he don't think he got him. He thought he made a meal of it. But we think what should have happened was 5 minutes before that, Cathal Barrett tackled Richie Hogan from behind, and it was a rough play. He should have booked him for that. Then that mightn't have happened. But I think what happened was Richie Hogan was frustrated why he didn't get the yellow card, and that's why I think he led with the elbow. So by law, the rules of the book says anything head high or a strike to the head is a red card. So that's why the red card was given. But like I said, it's enough. Like when they showed the rugby league, referees, they say they would have went to CMO and they would have took about 3 or 4 minutes. And James Owens basically issued that red card within a minute, And just to let you know, and I don't mind saying it, how much money I don't say, did you think James Owens got for that Ireland final?
Probably €40, is it?
37.50
before tax.
37.50. So I like grand, but because he lives near enough there, that's what he got. But other referees, we for championship games, we just get mileage. We actually don't get no fee for the game. But yet again, like I said, the places I've been, you definitely put in for the mileage anyway. So.
I'll finish it up there. So I'd like to thank Thomas for coming on to the show today and sharing his experience with us. I'll ask you again to like the video and subscribe to our channel, as it really helps us out. We've loads of top guests lined up over the next few weeks to help you get through the lockdown. Stay safe, and we'll be back talking to you soon on Extra Time.